New tonight, the Ohio Air National Guard remembering the 3 airmen killed in a crash 1 week ago. They were based in Columbus with the 121st Air Refueling Wing at Rickenbacker.
Aaron Simonek today spoke with the leader of the Ohio National Guard about how the state is remembering these fallen airmen.
It's a feeling you don't want. I was in Afghanistan in 2012 when we lost 3 of our service members. It brings back memories. It brings back tough times.
Adjutant General Matthew Woodruff proudly wearing the Zeus 95 call sign, honoring his fallen Ohio National Guardsmen killed during the air refueling crash in Iraq.
As an Army guy, it's unique for me to wear an air patch. That's not what we do. But to honor them, I felt it was important to make sure that we honor Tyler, Seth, and Curtis.
The leader of the Ohio National Guard spending this past week with the 121st Air Refueling Wing and the families. Flying an air refueling jet, a complex task.
And the pilot's job is to fly the aircraft and make sure it's steady. And the boom operator is the individual probably with the toughest job, and that was Tyler. And that's lowering the boom so that aircraft can come up. and receive fuel.
Yeah, just street yapping. Oh, the hair's crazy.
Come a little too. It's gonna be, if you want a gesture to do, it'd be good. You can do either way, I guess, but right now I have it so right.
Gesture this way. Vanna White this way. I have to be careful about my hands because I've realized for a lot of things that I'll spread my hand out funny and I'll look like Spock. I'll look like this. I'm like, what am I doing? Here's some. Your hand looks crazy. No, it's just usually like Spock. It literally is like this.
Star Trek game?
Yeah. Or the pinky is like really far out. Like, and it's like this.
Oh, that's their couple.
Like it's like a turtle. Oh. Oh, my hand's being turtly. Fire truck. I'm just telling him that I haven't done anything yet, but look at this. What is it doing? There's one piece of my head needs to look insane. Stop it. I sprayed so much hairspray and it just not. Well, I mean, like, it's holding the curl, which is fine. But the curls are just, Ben, can you iris down on me?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Edwin was yelling at you.
I looked at it, but I tried to,
Yeah. Tyler, can you talk again for Ben just so he can hear you?
Actually, my Bluetooth.
He gives a thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Talk real quick for Ben to just double check. Woo. I feel like the hair today is very early Taylor Swift, and that was not the intention. It was not the intention. It's just how it curled today.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Cool.
Hello. How are you, sir?
There are moments when a state stands still, when the noise of everyday life gives way to something quieter, heavier, sacred. This is one of those moments. 3 airmen, 3 sons, 3 stories of service and sacrifice coming home. Captain Curtis Angst, Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons of Columbus, Captain Seth Koval. They were among 6 Americans lost thousands of miles away in the darkness of a mission over Iraq when a refueling aircraft never made it back. Today, they return as heroes carried home, back to Ohio, back to families who have waded through unimaginable pain, to communities now bound together in grief and in gratitude. At Rickenbacker, the runway quiet with the weight of arrival, a flag-draped transfer, a final journey, witnessed not by crowds, but by those who love them most. This moment about sacrifice. It's about lives lived in service to something greater, and the empty spaces they leave behind. 3 airmen who answered the call, who wore the uniform with honor, who are finally coming home. As Ohio receives them, we remember freedom is not free. It's carried by names, by faces, by families, and by the brave who never made it back until now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for this ABC6 News special as we honor the lives of Captain Seth Koval, Captain Curtis Angst, and Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons. All are returning home today. The 3 airmen were killed in a refueling crash in Iraq as they were helping to support Operation Epic Fury. They were stationed at Rickenbacker Air Force Base, and they've made the journey back home after making the ultimate sacrifice in service to the country. This afternoon, we're on your side with live team coverage following this procession that will take these 3 heroes back to their communities. And we're also remembering those who these communities are honoring today for their service to this entire country. Now, these men were members of the 121st Air Refueling Wing based out of Rickenbacker Air Force Base, but they were also much more than that. They were sons, husbands, fathers, and beloved community members.
For the family of Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons, there is no way to measure the loss, not in words, Not in time, not in the quiet moments that now feel far too loud. A son, a grandson, a cousin, a best friend. Just 28 years old and already a life that touched so many, now reduced to memories that came far too soon. Tyler Simmons wasn't just serving overseas, he was doing what he loved. A boom operator trusted with the critical job of keeping other aircraft and other service members in the air. On March 12th, during a mission over Iraq, the air tanker he was aboard went down. 6 Americans killed, and just like that, everything changed. But for Tyler's family, this story doesn't begin with tragedy. It begins with a phone call just one day before the crash.
He called me on Wednesday, and we were able to talk to him on Wednesday. I was over here, and we actually had beautiful conversation. I was like, well, Tyler, how are you? He said, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
A mother hearing her son's voice, not knowing it would be the last time.
I remember the last thing I told him, just be alert, stay alert, keep your focus on what you're doing. And he said, oh yeah, Nana, I am.
The kind of exchange families have every day until one day they don't. At Eastmore Academy, Tyler was the kind of person you don't forget. A leader, an athlete, a smile that could shift the mood of an entire room.
If you're having a bad day and you're around him, you're now going to be a happy person.
He was brave. He had true courage. And he really did die a hero.
But the deepest loss lives inside the people who knew him simply as Tyler. And now his father, Milo, holds on to the moments that matter most.
He was amazing. He loved life. He was very driven. If he could think it, he could do it. And I think one of the things that really defined him was his infectious smile.
For his family, the grief is in the everyday things, the calls that won't come, the laughter that won't echo, the hugs that will never be held again.
He just wanted to do amazing things because he's an amazing man.
He called me his bestie. We were really close. He would talk to me about stuff he wouldn't talk to his mom about.
And yet, through the heartbreak, there is something unshakable, a legacy, a young man from Columbus who chose service, who lifted others, who lived with kindness, faith, and purpose. In 28 years, Tyler Simmons didn't just dream about making an impact. He did. His story doesn't end here. It lives on in every life he touched, every smile he inspired, and every person who will never forget his name. Tyler Simmons, son, hero, forever remembered.
And the loss of Captain Curtis Angst having a profound impact on his hometown of Wilmington down in Clinton County. The 30-year-old graduated from the University of Cincinnati with a degree in engineering. He joined the military back in 2015. The town's mayor says they will find a way to remember him as soon as they have the town's blessing.
We'd want to do something meaningful because it's certainly unique to Wilmington, such a tragedy that touched so many lives here. It touches, hearts of of us who live here. It's a very sad thing and sad news.
The sacrifice that he made and what he did to serve our country should never be forgotten.
Captain Angst was married for about a year. He is survived by his wife, his parents, and his little sister. 38-year-old Captain Seth Koval had been serving his country since 2006 when he enlisted in the Indiana National Guard. The Indiana native was a seasoned combat pilot who had been deployed 5 times. In his career, he logged over 2,000 flight miles, including 443 combat hours. His wife released a statement on state Facebook saying in part that Seth was exceptional at everything he did. He truly was the most amazing husband, father, son, brother, friend, and airman. He loved what he did and was proud to put his uniform on and serve others. She added he grew up dreaming of becoming a pilot. and that standing beside him as he made his dreams come true was truly an honor. Now, the 3 Ohio-based airmen were among 6 killed in a crash in Iraq supporting Operation Epic Fury in Iran. The 3 others killed were 33-year-old Major John Kleiner, 31-year-old Captain Adrian Savino, and Technical Sergeant Ashley Pruitt. They were assigned to the Air Refueling Wing out of MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, but served day-to-day operations at Sumter Smith in Birmingham, Alabama. The 6 of them were in a KC-135. U.S. Central Command says the crash followed an incident in friendly airspace and that other aircraft landed safely. An investigation into what caused that crash is still ongoing today. And the journey home for these 6 heroes began last Wednesday, March 18th. That's when they were honored with a dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. President Trump and other top leaders were on hand to honor these heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. And right now, we're waiting for the 3 heroes stationed at Rickenbacker to make their final journey home. Kirsten Lindquist is live along Alum Creek Drive, where that procession for Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons is expected to start shortly. And Kirsten, what exactly are you seeing out there right now?
You know, Rodney, we've talked a lot about, the impact that these young men have had on their families and their friends and their community members. And that's why we're having this procession here today. We've seen police vehicles from other agencies like Gahanna, Hamilton Township Fire and EMS, as well as Whitehall PD make their way towards Rickenbacker so far throughout the afternoon. Traffic so far has not been stopped in this area, but we are seeing a lot of folks pause and take a moment to self-reflect at the sheets nearby on Alum Creek Drive. And again, just a lot of folks really, it's a heavy day for a lot of these individuals. I think about the conversations that our team has had with those Gold Star families over the last couple of weeks. And of course, these men were courageous, brave, and proud to put on that uniform, but they were so much more outside of being airmen. And that is why folks are just really, again, taking the time to self-reflect and, again, pay their respects to them. We will continue to bring you coverage from this procession as they make their way to the funeral homes. For now, on your side in Obetz, I'm Kirsten Lindquist, ABC 6 News.
All right, thank you, Kirsten. And here's a look at the final journey for Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons. That procession will begin at Rickenbacker and head up Alum Creek Drive. And from there, they will get on 270 before ending at a funeral home along East Livingston Avenue. And here's a live look along 270 near the Livingston Avenue exit near that funeral home. This is where we're expecting that procession to exit the highway on its way to the funeral home. And take a look at this. This is a live look at that funeral home. At this time, we still don't know the exact arrangements planned for Master Sergeant Simmons, but as you can see, a crowd is starting to gather there. Based on the impact that he had, we're expecting a lot of people to turn out and honor his life when this does happen. And veteran advocate groups right here in Central Ohio are working to ensure the legacy of the 3 Ohio National Guard members killed in Iraq will live on forever. The Whitehall VFW chapter set aside a relief fund that will go directly to the families of those airmen. Rickenbacker Military Families is another organization that's helping out. The nonprofit was founded back in 2009 to support programs and airmen at Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base. Its memorial fund has already reached more than $10,000. It will go directly to impact the families.
We've done this willingly because we're doing this for the very people that are around us. We're making these sacrifices for the people. It's not just country, not just duty, it's for the people. Our charity has always been focused on supporting the airmen that are deployed and their families. So this is just kind of taking it to the next level, obviously, where it's a horrible loss, but it's what we've always been there to do.
And of course, if you would like to donate, we have the links to those organizations raising funds for the airmen's families. You can head on over to our website. And we have also spoken with leaders with the Ohio National Guard. Aaron Simonek has the story of how the state is remembering these heroes.
It's a feeling you don't want. I was in Afghanistan in 2012 when we lost 3 of our service members. It brings back memories. It brings back tough times.
Adjutant General Matthew Woodruff proudly wearing the Zeus 95 call sign, honoring his fallen Ohio National Guardsmen killed during the air refueling crash in Iraq.
As an Army guy, it's unique for me to wear an air patch. That's not what we do. But to honor them, I felt it was important to make sure that we honor Tyler, Seth, and and Curtis.
The leader of the Ohio National Guard, spending this past week with the 121st Air Refueling Wing and the families. Flying an air refueling jet, a complex task.
And the pilot's job is to fly the aircraft and make sure it's steady. And the boom operator is the individual probably with the toughest job, and that was Tyler. And that's lowering the boom so that aircraft can come up and receive fuel.
For General Woodruff, the mission continues.
As long as there are operations ongoing, the mission will continue and tankers will continue to fly. They're a tremendous asset for our national interests and national security.
Woodruff says once the crash investigation is complete, solutions are likely to be brought forward of how to prevent these scenarios.
Now, all eyes were on the dignified transfer across America. How was that experience for you, General?
I mean, it was hard. It's one of those solemn events that you don't want to have to go to, but honored to be able to be there for the families.
Woodruff describing the dignified transfer as humbling, difficult, and impactful.
One of the really humbling things about the dignified transfer was we had put a request in, if the families wanted to, that they could fly back with us on a KC-135 that we took out there. And they all came back with us. And I think that was probably a really good experience. I hope it was a good experience for them.
Woodruff emphasizing the fallen servicemen's family are being upheld with endless support.
You're part of our team. You're part of our family. And I really feel that way.
Preparations continue for a dignified arrival at Rickenbacker Airport in the next several weeks. On your side in Columbus, Aaron Simonek, ABC 6 News.
And we are going to send things back now to Kirsten Lindquist, who's along that procession route this afternoon. And Kirsten, this is certainly an emotional day for many people in this community.
It certainly is, Rodney. I don't think that can be understated. I actually just spoke to a gentleman moments ago who did not want to go on camera, but he says that this hits a little too close to home. He is a service member himself, a retired service member, and he's seen plenty of dignified transfer in the past and processions very similar to this one that they are holding for Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons. But again, just having this be a young man so close to, his community, again, this just really is a little too tough to bear for a lot of folks. Again, that gentleman did not want to go on camera, but again, just shared a lot of remorse for his family. And a lot of folks over the last couple of weeks that we have spoken to have shared similar sentiments of just trying to honor these young men's spirits and carry them with them as they move forward in this next chapter without those young men by their side. On your side, in Obetz, I'm Kirsten Lindquist, ABC 6 News.
All right, thank you for that, Kirsten. And let's take another look over the traffic cameras along I-270, where we're expecting that procession to take Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons. And here's a live look at that funeral home once again. As you can see, folks starting to gather there. We still don't know the exact arrangements planned for Master Sergeant Simmons just yet, but as you can see, he will certainly have an emotional return home there. A lot of folks in this community knew him, loved him, and definitely want to honor him today. And as we leave you this afternoon, we do want to again thank these 3 airmen and their families for their service and sacrifice to this country. And they should know that their legacies will continue to live on.